Have you ever gone back over a test and found that you got a question wrong and you thought to yourself, but I knew that one? It happens to the best of us. Hi, I'm Miss Parrot, and in today's video, we're going to look at why we pick the wrong answer even when we know the right one. This is going to help you strategize for the AP exam so that you don't leave any points on the table and score the highest possible score you can. Coming up in just a week. The problem isn't our knowledge. The problem is our brain's ability to make a decision under pressure. Often our brain will choose what looks right over what's actually the best answer because our brain is exercising pattern recognition over evaluation. But what is the AP Bio exam reward? Evaluation. The reason this happens has nothing to do with you, your intelligence, anything like that. It's that your brain is built to take shortcuts. Your brain is built to recognize patterns so that it can make decisions quickly and react. This means we'll often fall for partial truths because we're thinking too quickly and not comparing all of our choices. So, how do I get over this? How do I build the skills? Well, let me give you an example of when my brain did this just a couple of days ago. So I was tutoring with a student and a multiple choice question came up. There were 7 lines of explanation about how fertilizer runoff causes algal blooms, which then causes eutrophication. And then the die-off of entire aquatic communities. So I, being the bio teacher, scanned this and was like, oh, I know all about how eutrophication works, and I just kind of skipped over. Then there were 2 graphs, and then the question. Get ready, you're going to see stuff like that. So I read the question quickly. Which of the following best explains how higher concentrations of nitrogen and phosphorus contribute to eutrophication? So I was easily able to mark off 2. And so then I was down to C and D. And C says, nitrogen and phosphorus stimulate oxidative phosphorylation, which consumes the available oxygen in the water. D says, algae require nitrogen and phosphorus to build macromolecules, so higher concentrations of these nutrients result in algal blooms. Now, because I know about eutrophication, I have a eutrophication video right here, my brain went straight to, instead of reading the full answer, I was just immediately looking for which one is going to talk about oxygen levels depleting and everything dying. And so I chose C, and the student I was tutoring chose D. Now D, there's nothing wrong with D, but I was like, but it's C. And then I thought to myself, hold on, I made the exact mistake. Because yes, eutrophication does cause oxygen depletion, but nitrogen and phosphorus are not involved in stimulating oxidative phosphorylation. My brain was recognizing patterns and speeding through without stopping to read and compare the full answer choice. So in this case, D is the correct answer. Even though C does talk about the second part of C is correct, but the first part of C is not. So how do I choose the best answer? Well, there's 5 steps. First, read. That was my mistake. Read all the choices. Think to yourself, what is the big concept we're looking at here? And what is the task verb? What is the question asking me to do? Then evaluate your answers. Which one, are they biologically accurate? If not, out of here. And which of these belongs? Sometimes they like to put in an answer choice that doesn't really have anything to do with the scenario at hand. Then eliminate. Which ones are we going to eliminate? And we're going to use that little strike through tool that shows up in the Blue Book app. Anything that's incorrect, right, that's biologically inaccurate, stuff that just doesn't belong and doesn't make sense at all, things that are irrelevant, right, and anything that's misapplied. So they take the idea and they apply it to the wrong scenario. Mark those out. Usually by then you can narrow it to 2 pretty easily, even on a challenging question. Then we want to compare the 2 we have left. Which most directly answers the question, and which one uses the correct reasoning. Often, I find when I'm practicing multiple choice questions, which I still do as a grown-up teacher, I notice that the first part is right and the second part is wrong, like the describe is correct and the explain is wrong, or the other way around. So which one is not requiring any additional assumptions, and which one has correct reasoning at the front and the back. And then you choose. How are you going to choose? You're going to choose confidently and move on. Once you've chosen, don't let something, if something's like you're really not sure, skip it, mark it for review, and move on and come back. But don't choose and then let that one boil around in your brain. Not an efficient use of time on the AP Bio exam. But Miss Parrott, I only have 90 minutes to do 60 multiple choice questions. How can I go through 5 steps with every single one? Well, luckily, you won't have to go through those 5 steps with every single one. That's only going to come across certain ones or ones that are extra challenging. So, yes, we want to keep our pacing, but on something that I call a thinker, like something you're going to have to either be comparing data, reading a graph, going through a lot of answers, or like a lot of data, or long answer choices. Take the time, but not all the time. You're going to do those 5 steps in a fast, slow, fast pace. So the reading, you're going to do quickly. Then you're going to slow down to do your evaluate, eliminate, compare. And the eliminate those pretty quick, because the 2 of those answers are usually like way wrong or totally unrelated. Then we slow down just for the evaluate and compare, then choose and move on. So fast, slow, fast. Time management is important, but going through this mental checklist, it takes practice. So you've got a week left before the AP exam. Practice using this technique on more challenging questions. Then you'll be able to do it at a quicker pace. Remember, the slowdown is here at the decision point. It's not you're taking everything slow. It's just like when I'm down to my 2 answers, which one do I pick? That's where we slow. Rushing feels fast. Rushing through the exam feels fast, but clear thinking is really the best way to approach multiple choice questions. If you found this video helpful, please do like, subscribe to my channel. We still got a week before the AP Bio exam, so you want to be sure that you get all the upcoming videos. Leave a comment, a question, or an emoji down below. And if you're a student or a teacher and you want more practice resources, especially when it comes to the formula and equation sheet or free response questions, check out my Teachers Pay Teachers store, TPT, at Know and Grow with Gnomes. Keep learning, keep growing, and we'll see you next time.